Before you scroll away, pause for just a moment. What if the exhaustion you feel isn't from doing too much, but from carrying what you were never meant to carry? It's 3 a.m. The world is silent, but your mind isn't. The weight of responsibilities, regrets, fears about tomorrow, they all seem louder in the dark. You try to sleep, but something keeps pulling you awake. And maybe, just maybe, this isn't sluchayni. Maybe this is an invitation to lay it all down. Because there is a promise that still stands today. When you come to Jesus with your burdens, He doesn't add more to your shoulders. He lifts them off. There's something deeply mysterious about waking up in the quiet hours of the night, especially between 3 and 6 a.m. It often feels unexpected, almost disruptive, as if your rest has been interrupted for no clear reason. Yet what if this moment is not random at all? What if it is not simply a broken sleep pattern or a restless mind, but a gentle invitation into something deeper, something sacred? In these early hours, the world is still. The noise of daily life fades away, and for a brief window of time, you are free from distractions, responsibilities, and demands. It is in this stillness that your soul becomes more sensitive, more aware, and more open. You may notice that your thoughts feel louder, your emotions more present, and your questions more urgent. Instead of resisting this moment or trying to force yourself back to sleep immediately, consider the possibility that this is an opportunity to connect with God in a way that is difficult during the busyness of the day. When everything around you is quiet, it becomes easier to hear what truly matters. This is a time when you can pause, reflect, and turn your attention inward and upward. It is not about having perfect words or long, structured prayers. It is about presence. It is about being honest, being still, and allowing yourself to simply be with God. In these moments, you can bring your worries, your fears, your hopes, and your gratitude without any pressure or performance. There is a unique kind of peace that can be found when you stop running from your thoughts and instead place them gently into God's hands. You may begin to feel a sense of calm replacing your anxiety, a quiet assurance settling into your heart, and a clarity that was not there before. These are not coincidences. They are the result of choosing connection over resistance. The late night awakening can become a sacred rhythm in your life if you allow it. Instead of viewing it as an inconvenience, you can embrace it as a personal invitation to draw closer to God. Over time, you may even begin to welcome these moments, knowing that they offer a space for renewal, guidance, and peace. It is in this stillness that burdens feel lighter, questions find direction, and your spirit is gently restored. What once felt like interruption can become one of the most meaningful parts of your day, a quiet encounter that strengthens your faith and reminds you that you are never alone. Even in the silence of the night, there is a quiet pressure many people live under every single day. The belief that they must hold everything together, no matter how heavy life becomes. You push through stress, hide your struggles, and carry responsibilities that slowly drain your energy, all while telling yourself that this is what strength looks like. But the truth is, real strength has never been about teshmal everything in silence. It has never been about pretending you are okay when you are not. True strength is found in honesty, in humility, and in recognizing when the weight you are carrying is no longer yours to hold alone. Life has a way of placing burdens on your heart. Worries about the future, regrets from the past, pressures from responsibilities, and the silent battles no one else sees. At first, you may feel capable of handling it all. You tell yourself that you will figure it out, that you just need more time, more effort, more control. But over time, that weight begins to grow. It affects your peace, your thoughts, and even your ability to rest. What once felt manageable becomes overwhelming, and yet you continue to carry it because you believe you have no other choice. But you were never meant to live this way. You were never designed to carry every burden on your own shoulders. There is a reason why your strength feels limited at times. It is a reminder that you are not meant to rely only on yourself. It is an invitation to release, to surrender, and to trust that there is someone greater who is willing to carry what you cannot. Bringing your burdens to Jesus is not a sign of weakness. It is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. It requires courage to admit that you are tired, that you need help, and that you are ready to let go. When you begin to release what you have been holding on to, something shifts within you. The tension starts to ease. The constant pressure begins to lift. It may not happen all at once, but there is a noticeable difference when you stop trying to control everything and start trusting instead. You find that peace is not something you have to chase. It is something you receive when you place your burdens in the right hands. You are no longer carrying the weight of every outcome, every fear, and every uncertainty. Instead, you are learning to rest in the assurance that you are supported, guided, and not alone. Letting go does not mean that your problems instantly disappear, but it changes how you experience them. You move from a place of stress to a place of trust, from fear to faith, from exhaustion to renewal. And in that shift, you discover a deeper kind of strength, the kind that is not built on how much you can patience, but on how willing you are to release and receive the peace that has been available to you all along. Prayer is often misunderstood as a one-sided act, as if it is only about speaking words into the air and hoping something changes. But in its truest form, prayer is a sacred exchange. It is a moment where you do not just talk, you transfer. You bring what is heavy within you and in return receive something your own strength could never produce. Anxiety, confusion, and emotional weight are not meant to stay locked inside your heart. They are meant to be released, handed over, and replaced with something greater. This is what makes prayer powerful, not the length of your words or the perfection of your language, but the sincerity of your surrender. When you enter into prayer with an open heart, you begin to notice that something shifts, even if your circumstances have not yet changed. The anxiety that once felt overwhelming starts to loosen its grip. It may not vanish instantly, but it softens. Your breathing slows, your thoughts begin to settle, and a quiet sense of calm starts to take its place. This is not coincidence. It is the result of letting go instead of holding on. In the same way, confusion that once clouded your mind begins to clear. You may not receive every answer immediately, but you gain a sense of direction, a feeling that you are not as lost as you thought you were. Clarity often comes gently, not as a loud voice, but as a steady understanding that grows within you. There is also a deep release that happens when you let go of emotional heaviness in prayer. The burdens you have been carrying, worry, fear, disappointment, begin to feel lighter. It is as if you are no longer holding them by yourself. This does not mean that life becomes perfect, but it does mean that your inner world becomes more stable, more peaceful. You begin to experience a kind of rest that is not dependent on everything around you being resolved. It is a rest that comes from knowing you have placed your struggles in hands that are stronger than your own. The beauty of this sacred exchange is that it is always available. You do not need a perfect moment or a perfect setting. Whether it is in the quiet of early morning, in the middle of a busy day, or in the stillness of the night, you can pause and enter into this exchange. Over time, prayer becomes more than a habit. It becomes a lifeline. You start to rely on it not just in moments of crisis, but in everyday life. And as you continue to release and receive, you begin to understand that prayer is not just something you do. It is a place you go, a place where your burdens are lifted and your soul is gently restored. There is a point in every person's life where holding on becomes more exhausting than letting go, yet many still resist surrender because it feels unfamiliar and uncertain. You may believe that if you keep thinking, analyzing, and trying to control every detail, you will eventually find peace. But instead, your mind becomes more crowded, your heart more restless, and your spirit more tired. Endless thinking rarely leads to true rest. It often deepens the noise within you. This is where surrender becomes not a weakness, but a turning point. It is the moment you recognize that peace is not found in controlling everything, but in trusting enough to release what you cannot carry anymore. Letting go is not about giving up or becoming passive. It is about choosing to stop fighting battles that were never yours to win alone. It is about loosening your grip on worries, fears, and outcomes that you have tried so hard to manage. When you surrender, you are not losing control. You are placing your trust in something greater than your own understanding. This shift may feel small at first, but it carries a deep impact within your heart. The tension you have been holding begins to ease, and the pressure to have everything figured out starts to fade. One sincere, honest prayer has the power to do what hours of overthinking cannot. When you speak from a place of truth without filters or pretense, Something real happens inside you. You are no longer trapped in a cycle of thoughts. You are releasing them. You are acknowledging that you do not have all the answers, and that is okay. In that honesty, there is freedom. Your heart begins to soften, your breathing becomes steady, and a quiet calm starts to replace the chaos. This is the beginning of true rest, not the absence of problems, but the presence of peace within them. Surrender also changes how you carry your life moving forward. Instead of approaching every situation with fear and tension, you begin to move with a sense of trust. You understand that you are not alone in your struggles, and that you do not have to force solutions for everything. This does not mean challenges disappear, but it means they no longer control your inner state. You develop a quiet confidence that whatever comes, you will not face it by yourself. Over time, surrender becomes a practice, a gentle returning to trust whenever you feel overwhelmed. Each time you let go, you create space for peace to grow deeper within you. And in that space, you discover that true rest was never something you had to chase endlessly. It was always waiting for you on the other side of surrender, ready to fill your heart the moment you decided to release and trust. You've heard the truth. This weight you've been carrying was never meant to stay on your shoulders. Those quiet moments between 3 and 6 a.m. are not interruptions. They are invitations to release, to reconnect, and to receive the peace your heart has been searching for. Real strength is not found in holding everything together, but in knowing when to let go and trust God with what you cannot control. Prayer is your exchange, and surrender is your doorway into true rest. Now, don't just listen. Act tonight, or the next time you wake in the stillness. Don't reach for distraction. Pause. Sit in the quiet. Whisper a simple, honest prayer and release everything weighing on you. If this message spoke to you, carry it forward. Make this a daily practice, because your peace is not far away. It's waiting for your surrender.